Let's look at this together. All right. We're going to kind of pull together a lot of little things that we've seen. First, we know that the user is going to click on help. So let's set up our event listener, right? Let's set up our event listener for the help. So we've seen event listeners a bunch of times now. You should have practiced them a bunch, should have rewritten them over and over again. So we know that our document.query selector, and then the actual ID was help. That's the thing we're clicking on. So let's go ahead and throw our Octothorpe help in here. Beautiful. And then we need to add our event listener. I'm just letting the text editor help me here. We know we want it to be a click, and then we're going to run a function called stop snacking. There we go. That's going to be the name of our function. So now we have our event listener. We can click on help and we can run the function stop snacking. So let's set up our function. Stop snacking. Beautiful. And we know that we want to do something multiple times, right? We want to do something multiple times, right? But we need to know how many times to do it. And we're going to get that value from the input. So we've seen that before too. So let's go ahead and get the value out of the input. We might use const because it's a value coming out of the input, but I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. So let's do let, and let's say number of snacks. Actually, I like num better. Num of snacks, right? And we're going to go into the DOM and get the value out of the input. So once again, document.query selector, right? And let's look at what the input is. The input has no ID. There's nothing on it. So there's only one input. So we can actually just say input. It wasn't an ID. There wasn't a class. But there's only one input. So I'm just going to grab the input and we're going to get the value out of the input. Cool. We got the value out of the input. Now, just as a precaution, right? We know we're dealing with inputs, and sometimes when it comes to inputs, we might wind up with what? Hey, Hyper. Might wind up with what? With inputs, we might wind up with strings. So just because we know we're going to use this as a number, let's not play any games. We might not need to do it, but let's just make sure we wrap this in number. Let's make sure whatever comes out of that input is indeed treated as a number. So number of stacks, number of snacks will actually be a number. Beautiful. So now if we want to do something over and over again, we need our what? We're going to do something over and over again. We need what?
A loop.
A loop. Beautiful. Notice how I do my loops. Hold on. Let me clean that up for you. Let me do that again. 4 parentheses, curly braces, and then I hit enter. I always do my parentheses, I always do my curly braces, and then I go back. And the reason is I will forget them if I don't do it that way. So if you lose a parenthesis or a curly brace, you're gonna run into some trouble. So I always type it all the way out, and then I come back and put it in. All right, we saw with our loop, we have to set up our counter. So let I equal, and we can go ahead and just start counting at 1 just to make it easier. Eventually we'll start counting at 0, but not tonight. All right, let I equal 1. We're going to say while I is less than what? Or sorry, less than or equal to what? We want this to loop once for each snack. Yeah, for a number of snacks. Exactly. Beautiful. So here we have the idea that we're going to grab the value out of the input. We're going to turn it into a number. Did y'all hear my stomach? That was wild. I don't know if the microphone picked that up. We're going to grab the number of snacks. I'm getting hungry. That's what happens when we go over. We're talking about snacks and we're going over time. I don't know. My stomach's doing the most. We're going to grab the off at 1. We're going to go until we reach the number of snacks that we have, and we're going to go up by 1 each time. So I plus plus. Beautiful. So what we're going to do each time this runs is we need to tell the user to stop. So let's go ahead and do our document dot query selector. And where are we going to put it? Let's look in here. We have this ID of stops, this H2 with the ID of stops. This is where we're going to append our stops. So let's go ahead and grab the ID of stops. Cool. And then remember we saw to put something in, we use that inner text equals, but we can't just do equals. We need to do what? Can't just do equals. That would just show 1. Just show 1. Yeah, we got to do plus equals, and we're just going to say stop. Beautiful. Why do I put the space here? Why do I put the space there?
So that it
Not needed,
shows
but
up
why do
in
I do it?
space.
The visual, exactly. It's ugly otherwise. It just makes it cleaner. It puts an actual space. Remember, we're concatenating everything, so it puts an actual space in that concatenation. All right, so let's save this. Let's see if it works. All right. I ain't got that many snacks. Let's say 3. Got 3 snacks. Click for help. Stop, stop, stop. Nice. All right. 5 snacks.
Doesn't work. I broke it. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I know. I didn't click. But it only did it once. So it's supposed to say it numerous times, and it didn't. Why? What did I do wrong? All my brackets are there. It's not yelling at me for anything, but it has to do with the repeat. Which means it's my loop.
Uh-oh. I thought it was first try. Let's see.
Oh, did his fail too? No.
We did
His
1,
did.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. Let's
His got
do
8 and mine got
1
1.
snack. Uh-oh. What are we doing?
We have different issues.
What are we doing? We just keep concatenating, right? The page hasn't refreshed, so the DOM's not being rewritten, right? Is there a way that we could clear this out? We don't have to refresh the page. Is there a way that we could clear it out each time we click? Let's think about it. Let's go back. All right. So we clicked.
First, I gotta figure out where I went wrong. Where mine is different than his. So document, query selector, help, period, add event listener, click on stop snacking. Yep. Okay. So now I am making a function for stop snacking. Let num of snacks, which is what I'm coming up with, equal number document dot query selector input dot value for let I equal 1, I less than or equal to num of snacks, I plus plus. Dun, dun, document query selector stops. Okay, I don't have an upper lowercase issue. Nope. Dot inner text. Oh. The plus equal? Is that what I messed up? Let's see. Okay, now I'm having the same problem as him. Yay!
We grab the number from the input. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go document dot query selector. And I'm going to go to where we're going to put the stops. And I'm going to change it to be empty. Right? I'm going to go to stops, and whatever is in there, I'm going to make it empty. And then we do our loop. So each time this runs, each time we click help, the first thing we're doing is getting the value out of the input, then turning stops to be empty, and then doing our loop to put the stops in there. So let's save this. Let's go back. Let's refresh the page. And let's do 3 stops. Stop, stop, stop. And then let's do 1. I'm going to click. And we just have 1 stop. Right? Because what I did, right? What I did was I said, all right, here's the click event. Our Smurf heard the click. It ran the stop snacking function. We grabbed the value out of the input and we put whatever the heck was inside of that H2. We just set it to be empty. We set it to be empty, right? And then we did our loop putting the stops in there. That's it. All right. All right. So now we can start to do some fun stuff, right? Now we have the ability to like listen for events. We have the ability to get stuff out of inputs. We have the ability to like clear out stuff. We have the ability to put stuff into the DOM. This is where JavaScript gets to be a little bit fun, right? You can start doing stuff. And so I know we did a lot tonight. I know that there are a lot of things that are complicated and hard when it first comes to JavaScript, but we're going to keep working at it, right? We're going to keep working at it. We're going to keep getting lots of review. Sunday, come back Sunday. We're going to do more review on Sunday. Come back to class. We're going to do more review in class. And then we're going to keep picking up the pace, right? So we're going to keep it going, but you have to for homework. You have to for homework. Go back through these examples. You have to redo them. You have to play with them. You have to break them. You got to have some fun with it, right? All right, let's take a look. Homework. There's two more things here. There's this bring it on assignment and this bring it on again. I would love for you to try bring it on and bring it on again before you come to office hours, because we're going to go over them together and it's just way more practice. If we look at bring it on before we do the raid, right? If we look at the bring it on, we have our variables, we have our functions, we have our conditionals, and then we got some loops down here, right? Right? I want you to practice these. You know what?
Oh God.
I'm gonna go late. If you need to leave, please leave. if you're running, I know it's fuming. 3 hours is hard, but I'm feeling good right now. I feel like some things are clicking, so I'm gonna do it. If you need to leave, please leave. No qualms. You can always come back to the VOD. I'm gonna redo it again on Sunday anyway. But I'm gonna do it. So let's put 3 minutes on the clock here. Let's see how fast you can go through this, and then we're gonna go over it together. Let's do it for real. I know this is rough that we went over. If you gotta leave, please leave. No harm, no foul. Come back, watch the VOD. Come on Sunday, we'll do it over again. But let's go. We're gonna go a little later. 5 minutes. You got this. We're gonna go over it and then we'll do our raid. I'm gonna do the. This is bring it on. This is bring it on is the one we're looking at right here. Bring it on. 5 minutes. Bring it on. You got this. You gotta leave. No worries. Please leave. I know going over is rough, but I want this to click for some more folks. Gotta go to bed. That's okay. I know I'm going over. Take your time. It'll be in the VOD. Come on back. Yeah, the Pokemon card. Let me do the Pokemon card while folks are working, and then we go over it. All right. I get you. You gotta go eat. Go eat. My stomach's grumbling too.
Wait a second. Oh wait, what are we doing?
I know this is rough that we want to try bring it on and bring it on again before you come to office hours, because we're going to go over them together and it's just way more.
All right, well, I just went on a mission to find the office hours because I haven't been able to find them yet. And I think I might have, but in that process, missed that he was saying we should start one of these. So I am rewinding and playing catch up as usual. But I do think I might have found the office hours, which makes me really happy because I have been on a hunt for these.
More practice. If we look at bring it on before we do the raid, all right. If we look at the bring it on, we have our variables, we have our functions, we have our conditionals, and then we got some loops down here, right? Right. I want you to practice these. You know what? I'm going to go late. If you need to leave, please leave. if you're running, I know it's fuming. 3 hours is hard, but I'm feeling good right now. I feel like some things are clicking, so I'm going to do it. If you need to leave, please leave. No qualms. You can always come back to the VOD. I'm gonna redo it again on Sunday anyway. But I'm gonna do it. So let's put 3 minutes on the clock here. Let's see how fast you can go through this, and then we're gonna go over it together. Let's do it for real. I know this is rough that we went over. If you gotta leave, please leave. No harm, no foul. Come back, watch the VOD. Come on Sunday, we'll do it over again. But let's go. We're gonna go a little later. 5 minutes. You got this. We're gonna go over it and then we'll do our raid. I'm gonna do the. This is bring it on. This is bring it on is the one we're looking at right here. Bring it on. 5 minutes. Bring it on. You got this. You gotta leave. No worries. Please leave. I know going over is rough.
My number.
But I want this to click for some more folks. Gotta go to bed. That's okay. I know I'm going over. Take your time. You'll be in the VOD. Come on back.
Right, does that
yeah,
work?
the Pokemon card. Let me do the Pokemon card while folks are working, and then we go over it.
10. Yes. And my number equals 10. All right. This.
All right.
All right, create a variable and add 2 to it. So I need...
I get you. You gotta go eat. Go eat. My stomach's grumbling too.
And 2 equal num plus 10. And I want it to alert. Alert num2. Create a function. Let's see if that works.
All right.
Cool.
Double Tedder B. Double Tedder B. This is for your Pokemon card draw. Here are the cards that are possible. Whatever this results in is the card that you'll get, and then you have to send me a whisper on here on Twitch, and I'll get the card to you. Takes me a little while to mail them out, but it'll come to you. So let's go and do this.
4 numbers and alerts the different.
2. Oh, that's so close. Let's see. Oh, card name. We got to redo it. That was so close. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to give you the top one. That's the first time we hit a 2. You're going to get the top one. You're getting the Luxray coming your way. Congrats. Always the 1 and 2s I redo, but it's been a good class. We're going overtime. You get the top rated card. Luxray coming your way. Send me a whisper. And it'll take me a little while to get them mailed out, but it's coming your way.
Follow the function. Can't forget that. I need to tell it what I want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start big. 10, 2, 4, 5.
All right, minute 30. We're gonna go over this together, folks, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay. So that's gonna call it, and it's gonna fill those numbers in. But now I need to tell those 4 numbers.
Got this, folks. Keep digging. Keep digging.
So tell them I need the alert. So alert is N1.
You're gonna see the new Batman. I'm not going to movie theaters yet, but I'll be seeing the new Batman. Hey, Leon, I feel like things aren't still clicking. Is it okay to feel like this? Absolutely. That's how we started off class, right? Like the idea is that this stuff takes somewhat longer, sometimes harder to click, but as long as you're putting in the work, right? You're doing your repetition, you're doing everything that we asked you to do, it'll make sense eventually. You just got to keep plugging along. We got tons more review to do. Even though we keep adding new topics, we'll always come back and review. Are the clips going to be sent to the same thread as last Tuesday? No, we're going to do I think we might actually do a Slido so folks can upvote them. That way, like the really good ones can get upvoted to the top.
I don't know why.
But I'll share the thread or whatever in the post class message.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, folks, let's go over these together. Thanks for staying strong. No worries if you got a dip though. All right, let's look at these together. Alrighty, create a variable and console log the value. Easy. All right, let num equal 10, right? And then console log the value. Console.log num. Beautiful. Next, create a variable, add 10 to it, alert the value. Let second num equal, I don't know, 20. And then add 10 to it. Second num equals second num plus 10. And then alert second
20
num. Beautiful. All right.
So again, I think mine's doing the same thing.
We created one here, console logged it, created a new one, added 10 to it, alerted the value. Beautiful. We're gonna go through these quick. Doing it, we're bringing it on again. All right, bringing it on again is the next one. All right, create a function that subtracts 4 numbers and alerts the difference. Function sub 4 nums and alert. Beautiful. We're gonna need 4 what? All right,
And what?
we're gonna need 4 what?
Not an argument.
4 parameters. All right, let's do n1, n2, n3, n4. Beautiful. And then we got to subtract them and alert. So let's throw it in the alert. Let's do n1 minus n2 minus n3 minus n4. All right, we haven't called this. Let's call it and make sure that it works. Let's go ahead and do sub 4 numbers and alert, and let's do 5 4 3 2 1. And give us a negative, but let's go ahead and open this and run it.
Why'd you do 5 digits?
We have all of our alerts going. We got the original DVD release photo for Bring It On. Yes, all of these will be Bring It On themed going forwards. You got Bring It On Again, all the way up to Worldwide Cheer Smack. We're coming for them all. Alrighty. We saw that we did 5 minus 4, which is 1 minus 3, which would get us to 2. Whatever. We did the math. It did it for us. We saw the -4 show up. Beautiful. That's only 4. Oh, sorry. I did 5 arguments here, right? Look, I did 5 arguments, right? But there's 4 parameters. So what do you think happened to this last argument?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It can get passed in through a different way, but there's no bucket for it right here. There's no bucket for it. So in this case, we just ignored it. Even though we passed in an extra one, we just ignored it. And so that's why we have -4, right? 5 minus 4 is 1, 1 minus 3 is 2, -2, -2 minus 2 is -4. That's why we saw the -4 alert. Beautiful. Create a function that divides one number by another and returns the remainder. As soon as we see remainder, what do we know we're doing?
Ampersand. Modular. Percent sign.
Modulus, exactly. So let's do a function get the remainder. Beautiful. We're gonna pass in 2 numbers, and then what do they want us to do? It want us to return. We'll return n1 modulus n2. And remember, when we return stuff, it just poofs into thin air. So we could wrap this in a console log if we wanted to, or put it into a variable, whatever, just to store it. But let's do it in a console log. And we'll do get the remainder, and we can pass in 12 and 3. All right. If we did 12 and 3, what would we expect in the console? 12 and 3, what do we expect in the console?
0.
0, exactly. So let's go ahead. Let's open up our console.
23.
Let's refresh. We got our alerts going, and then we see 0 in the console. Nice, working. Conditionals. Create a function that adds 2 numbers that the sum is greater than 50. Alert Jumanji. Function. Add 2. Alert Jumanji. Beautiful. We know we're taking in 2 parameters. Even though I know it's parameters, I still do my parentheses, I still do my curly braces, and then I go back. So we'll say num1, num2. And then if we're gonna see if it's greater than 50, what do we need? Get out of here with The Rock. There's only one Jumanji and you know it. I love The Rock though. Just Jumanji's a really great movie. Conditional, exactly.
Oh, if.
So we're gonna say if n1 plus n2 is greater than 50, then we will alert Jumanji. Beautiful. All right, so let's call it add to an alert Jumanji, and let's put in 2 numbers, 50 and 1. So we know that this is over 50 because it's 50 and 1. 50 plus 1 would be 51. 51 would be over than 50. So we should see Jumanji alerted. 30. Boom. -4. Boom. Jumanji. All right, we're on fire. Let's go. Woo! Create a function that multiplies 3 numbers, and if the product is divisible by 3, alert zebra. I'm on fire. Let's do it. Function. Multiply 3 and divide by 3. All right, C. All right, let's do multiply 3 and check div by 3. I'm getting wild with my names here. You don't have to get this serious. 3 numbers. All right, so let's go and do n1, n2, n3. I'm getting excited. All right, let's go ahead and figure out the product first. Let product equal n1 times n2 times n3. And then we gotta check. We gotta check to see if it's divisible by 3. How could I check to see if it's divisible by 3? You can see me getting hungry and hungrier. How can I check to see if it's divisible by 3? We need another conditional, and we can use modulus, right? We can use modulus in that conditional. Beautiful. All right, let's do product modulus 3. If it equals what? If it equals what, we know it's divisible by 3. Yes,
0.
if it equals 0, beautiful. We're flowing. I'm typing wrong. If it equals 0, yes. And if it does equal 0, what do we got to do? We got to alert Zebra. Beautiful. There we go. So we're going to take in 3 numbers, right? We're going to multiply them all together. If when you use modulus, you get 0, you know that it is going in evenly. So if we did like 3 times 3 times 1, we would have 9. 9 by 3 is 0. Stephanie A, thank you for the 5 kids of subs. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. If we get 0, we know that it went in evenly, right? Which means that there was no remainder, which means it is divisible. Cool. Let's call this. Let's see it in action. Let's pass in that 3, 3, and 1 that we talked about. Let's save it. All right, let's go back. Let's refresh. Should still see our Jumanji. There it is. And we got our Zebra. It's working. We're on fire.
All right, so he did. I forgot this. There we go. 23 Jumanji. Beautiful.
Folks. Now, this one's a little tricky, right? We got the product from doing the multiplication up here. Then we're doing the modulus of 3, right? We want to see if it's equal to 0, because if it's equal to 0, that would be a true statement. We would know that it is indeed divisible by 3, and we could alert Zebra. Yeah. Last one, folks. Create a function that takes in a word and a number. Console log that word x times where x was the number passed in. Got you. Function log word x times. Beautiful. We're taking in a word and a number. Got it. If we're gonna log something multiple times, what do we need? What do we need? If we're gonna log something multiple times, what do we need?
Loop.
A loop. Let's loop it. Let's set up our for. Let I equal 1, right? While I is less than or equal to num, then we're going to do I plus plus each one. And then all we're going to do inside of our for loop, console.log word. Beautiful. Let's pass it in. Let's go ahead and call it log word x times. Wonderful. And let's pass in 21 times. Let's save it. Let's go back. Let's refresh. We see our, still got to agree to our Zebra. Let's refresh. 30, -4, Jumanji, Zebra. And there's me telling you, you're wonderful 21 times. Thank you for sticking through it. I know this is a lot. I know I went through it fast. First try. Now, come back to this. If you're hung up on the modules, if you're hung up on the loops, come back to this. Rewatch the VOD. The VOD's immediately available. Come back and watch it. Play with all this stuff. I want you to redo everything that's in this. Bring it on. Redo it. Delete it. Retype it. Make sure you can do it without having to look at the code. And then once you're feeling good, you understand all the pieces, bring it on again. right? Bring it on again. All right. So I know this was a long one. I know we got through a lot of material. Sorry, I went over half an hour over. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being wonderful. Thank you for being here. Let's set up a raid. Let's spread some love and positivity.
Okay, I don't want to watch The Office Hours yet. What? To mark my class done, I have a super review. Arrays, objects, APIs. All right. I'm gonna jump. Nope. I'm not jumping into that one. Nope. I'm going to class 19. Let's do it.
Yo. Yo. What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're coming from. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see everybody. Hold up, my mic almost fell off. We didn't scare everybody away. That's good. Super review.
Gotta remember to check
we had some troopers. Glad to see that you're all still here. You're all doing well. Hopefully you got some rest and recovery in. XD, hey, thank you for the gifted subs. I'm still tired.
Literally the only reason I use
Twitter boy
is for this.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. So as always, I'd like to start off with some questions. So the question of the day is, would you rather have to wash your hair with dish soap or your dishes with shampoo? So hair or dishes in chat for me. Hair or dishes? What? I thought this would be a landslide. Everyone's saying hair. I thought this would have been easy dishes. I think this is the most surprising one to me so far. Wow, I've done both. I've been there. I've tried it. Because the dish soap gets so sudsy. How could it not do something cool? All right. Now it's getting a little mixed. We're getting some dishes. We're getting some hair. All right. It kind of flipped a little bit when I said it. All right. I like it. Okay. We're 50-50 now, which is still surprising to me. I thought this would be a landslide. Alrighty. As always, we want to give some folks a few seconds to get in here. Tonight, folks, is all about arrays. If you're new around these parts, we're doing a free 30-week software engineering boot camp. We've gone through HTML, through the CSSs, through the beginnings of JavaScript, and now we're starting to get to some fun stuff. Tonight's all about arrays. You might have got, if you did the homework, the very last kind of like, the last little hint was arrays in the Codecademy work. So hopefully you've seen it a little bit. Tonight, we're going to really digest them, break them apart, try and get to the nitty gritty of what they are and how they work. Hopefully with some fun examples and then some good code to work through together. And then your homework for this week is, again, Another large block of reading. All right, everybody didn't leave. We're good. Another large block of reading. We are doing more JSWay. Just one chapter of the Eloquent JavaScript. I know, but we got to get used to it. We got to get our reading in. We got to get those muscles going so that when we're on the job and all there is dusty documentation, we're ready for it.
Gotta check in.
Cool.
Done.
All right, let me go ahead and go to Little Leon here. Let's bring up the slides.
And watch it.
All about arrays today.
All right, I tend to speed up till I get to the
let's start
parts
off with some questions. While we give folks an extra second to get in here, you got some questions. Maybe I got some answers. Is it all right if I'm trying to do active recall with the readings, but still not retaining 90% of the info? I do make Enkeys. Well, that's where it's going to come in. You're not expected in the end of the reading to have it all locked away in your brain and it all makes sense. That's impossible. There's no way that actually happens. And so the active recall unlocks just a small percentage bump over reading, right? Then it is the active recall gets a little bit of bump, but then it's the spaced repetition, which really makes it sink in, makes it stick. So if you are actively recalling, you're getting that first big bump, but the real meat and potatoes is the spaced repetition. If you're not doing the spaced repetition, that's where you're going to lose a lot of that learning juice. And then remember, the reading for us is kind of like the first pass. We review everything that's important in class. So I always want you to give it the good old 100 devs try, but if things aren't locking in, that's what you come to class for. I see a lot of people saying, are we early? I actually forgot to put that into Discord, but in the US, we have daylight savings time. And so we are an hour, actually, we're an hour early today, right? So if folks were here on Sunday, they don't know that we are an hour early. Hope they follow us on Twitter. See, that's why you should follow on Twitter, folks. You always get the real scoop on Twitter. But I did put it on Twitter. It was on Discord. You did get the email. So hopefully you're following on one of those three and you see and snap to it and come join us. But yeah, I'm sorry. I always forget about the daily saving time. So we got a global community. I got to be a little more on top of that. I'll add that to my Google Calendar so we don't forget. You got. We did. You got. That'll be an interesting game to see how much our attendance swings today of folks that are being affected by daily savings time. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. Oh yeah, and the bill just passed. Now it's permanent in the US. The daily saving time is now permanent. So we can look forward to this happening again next cohort. Yay. Oh boy. Sorry, our international friends. All right. So let's get into it. Let's talk about our agenda today. We're going to take a quick peek at functions and loops again, get some practice in with our functions and loops. We're actually going to see a new kind of loop today called a for each loop. We'll get into detail with that in a little bit. Then we're going to learn about a new data structure called arrays. We're going to learn how to use them, what they are, how they work. We're going to learn how to iterate through them. And if we have time, we're going to learn about a few methods or extra kind of functions that come along with arrays that we can use to make our lives a lot easier. So that's the goal for today. Then we come back on Thursday, we'll review our arrays again and then hint at objects. So the homework that is starting today, which we do next Tuesday, has a lot of reading. The quicker you can get through that reading, the better off Thursday will be and definitely Tuesday will be. So this reading is very important. It's going to help you solidify stuff about arrays and help you solidify things around objects, which are two really meaty topics we're going to be spending a lot of time on. Cool. If you haven't already, go ahead and check in, please. Yeah, actually, I would really appreciate checking today. You gotta like and retweet to all the folks that are still expecting this to take another hour before we start. They see it. We gotta bump that up in their timeline, please. Today's the most important check-in of the year. Make sure we bump it into the timeline of folks that are not here on time because of the daylight savings time. So I appreciate it. Go ahead and check in, give it a like, give it a retweet. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. As always, the link is always on Discord. It's always, if you're just following us on Twitter, you'll see it. Beautiful. Alrighty. Thank you for checking in. If you want to be fancy, remember, best clip or funnest clip gets a special color on Discord. Currently, there are 2 exclusive individuals with the golden yellow color on Discord. They're the only folks that have it. They're the envy of all the other 100 devs. So best clip, I'll always share Slido after each class and go ahead and submit your clips in that Slido. I know folks know how to game Slido a little bit. I don't just pick the top one. I pick the best one. And best can either be like best educational content or funniest, whatever you want to choose. And best clip gets the fancy yellow golden color. Now, we also have the funnest portfolio and the funnest project from our project night. And so I left open the Slidos until today. So if you still want to submit your funnest project and your funnest portfolio for a chance at that lovely golden color and some 100 devs merch, go ahead and make sure you submit that one and we'll announce those winners on Thursday. I also opened up a Slido for our super review. So if you had some good clips from the super review, feel free to share them as well. Also, speaking of the super review, I downloaded it, I edited it, I uploaded it, it made it onto YouTube today. It was hands down the best video I put on YouTube so far in terms of like engagement. The number of likes it got was super, like it just blew every other video I've ever posted on YouTube out the water in terms of like likes and views that it immediately got on YouTube. And then I got the comment, Leon, it stops at 7 hours. And I was like, what do you mean it stops at 7 hours? We went 9.5 hours. What do you mean the YouTube video stops at the very old review? And I went back and I looked at it. Something happened when it was rendering, like the video must have been rendering from Premiere, that it said 9.5 hours on the actual size of the video file, but around 7.5 hours, the video file kind of just like stops. I'm like, stop mid talking. And so I uploaded it, and then YouTube somehow has magic to know that even though the file says 9.5 hours, there's only 7 hours of video. And so that's what it put up on YouTube. And so shout out to, I should have wrote down the comment, the person that made the comment. But if you got that comment, thank you. I read all the YouTube comments, but thank you for that comment. I took it down. So the video's down. I have re-rendered it. It's looking good. It's going to be uploaded and it'll go live tomorrow. So for folks that want to watch the review on YouTube, it'll go up tomorrow. Just know that there were some glitches. I had a lot of people asking for it, and I promised it. Since we stayed over 1,500 throughout the whole entire Sunday, it'll go up tomorrow. And I apologize, but it was pretty sad because it was the best engagement we've ever gotten on a YouTube video. And I was like, fuck, I gotta bring it down. So it'll be up tomorrow. Work. You had a lot of reading and some stuff that I asked you to do over the past week. What I really want to see are your drafts, the drafts of your portfolio, the drafts of your proposal and contract. Put those in a Google Doc for me. And then any of the tasks that you did that you have code for from the reading, I want to see that too. So you can throw those in CodePens, glitches, whatever you want to use, Replets, and throw those in the form. So whatever you got, I want. Don't worry about if you didn't have a chance to submit it. You know, the homework was kind of nebulous this past week. So what I want is the drafts of your your portfolio and your proposals. And then I want any of the tasks or JavaScript that you wrote for the reading. But throw those into a CodePen. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be neat. And I want it. Screenshots of Codecademy, throw them in there. Yeah, give me whatever you got. I want to see what you did, what you got done, and how well you did, and how far you got through it. So give me what you got, upload it for me, and I'll take it all. Networking, folks. This is the week. You gotta start taking that networking seriously. We talked about kind of ramping up a little bit, right? Now you want to be hitting that stride of 3 network individuals already in tech and 2 coffee chats a week, folks. You gotta be hitting that stride. I'm gonna give you one more grace period of a week where it doesn't matter. But after this week, boy, does it. You gotta hit those 3 individuals. You gotta hit those 2 coffee chats. Yeah. Alrighty, so do what you got to do. Start finding those events. Go back to our class on networking. Go through the things we said to do. Start finding your way of networking, right? Your way of networking. Everyone's gonna have a different process, a different strategy. Some are gonna like meetups. Some are gonna like conferences. Some are gonna not want to see humans at all and want to talk through text. Find what works for you. This is the last week to ease into it. After next week, I'm checking it. I want to see who you met, when you met them, how you met them, and make sure you have those connections. Cool. Use the sheet. I'm gonna start asking for your sheet starting next week. Yeah. So use the sheet. Make sure you're adding your connections there. Make sure you're going through that process. And then next week, I'm gonna start asking them for those sheets with your homework. Met a senior full stack developer at networking event last weekend. She said she's going to refer me. Hey, let's go. That's what we're talking about, folks. That's it. That's how it works. It's not the coding ability. I gotta keep saying it's not just the raw coding ability. It's the networking that helps you get the jobs. And every single person that's here right now, there is a strategy that would work for you to network. I really do mean it. For folks that are introverted, there are things that will feel more comfortable that you have to explore. For folks that are extroverted, don't burn out. Don't go too hard on the networking. That's another big thing. Some folks come out the gate flying. They're doing 10 coffee chats a week, and then 2-3 weeks in, they're fizzling. So be careful. There's a balance. 3 and 2. 3 network connections, 2 coffee chats is a good pace to keep for the rest of the program. How do we manage while working full time? You gotta be effective with your time, right? It's definitely a challenge. It's definitely something that's harder to do. The beauty is that a lot of networking events happen after normal work hours. There's also a lot that happen on weekends. There are lots of organizations you can volunteer with on weekends. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. So depending on your unique situation, you're gonna network differently. But you gotta realize it's the biggest thing you can do that's gonna change your outcomes when it comes time to getting a job. Yeah, exactly. Cal Milk said you're normally networking with people who have jobs, so they'll be at around 5 too. Exactly. So if you're working a normal 9 to 5, then you'll probably networking with folks that get off at 5 too. Is an 8 GB laptop good enough for web development? Hell yeah. Been offered 4 jobs while doing rideshare, just talking about the boot camp. Yeah, I'll tell you what, my Uber drivers always make the best students. The folks that do the rideshare, I don't know what's in your DNA, but I look at all my best students from RC, I look at all my best students from a lot of students from 100 devs. It's always the rideshare folks that are eating everybody's lunch, so keep it up. No. Alrighty, code challenges. We're getting ready to start our code challenges daily. Daily code challenges. In the beginning, I want you to start trying Code Wars. We'll eventually share challenges that I want you to focus on, but I need you to start adding a daily code challenge into your life. I always have my students start off with Code Wars. If you've never done a Code Wars before, it is just a coding challenge. Now, when you go to Code Wars, you're going to see some doozies of some problems. You're going to see some problems that make your brain spin. I don't want you to start with those types of coding challenges. On Code Wars, there is specifically a fundamentals track that covers the basics of JavaScript. Please, for the first week or 2, do not do any problems that are not in that fundamentals track. They're too hard. You'll burn out. It won't go well for you unless you've kind of gone ahead a little bit on your JavaScript reading. So you want to make sure on Code Wars you're on the fundamentals track. The way Code Wars works is that each coding challenge has a ranking. It goes from 8 to 1, and then it's kind of like you're a black belt and you do like harder problems. So 8s are actually the easiest on Code Wars. It seems odd you think maybe like 1 would be the easiest, but no, 8 is the easiest, and then you go down to 7, 6, 5s, right? So make sure you are doing, right? Make sure you are doing level 8 fundamentals Code Wars. If you're doing anything else, they're too hard. Cool. We also have a clan on Code Wars. So if you join the clan, you'll be able to see all your 100 devs folks that are solving challenges as well. It's !clan in chat. It'll give you the link to join. It's like when you set up your account in your settings, you can add a clan, and we have a 100 devs clan that you can join, and that way you can even compete against other folks to see how many you get done. I will say a lot of folks that were high up in the clan last cohort, they did well when it came to the job search. So if you want the extra little bit of fun, you can do it. It's just the Octothorpe 100 devs is the clan name. Yeah, with the -leonwood.com/twitch. Here, I'll actually throw it in chat because I know it'll speed by. All right, here we go. There we go. That's it. It's that full thing. It's the Octothorpe 100 devs -leonwood.com/twitch. It's like the actual full thing. I'll put it in the slides for next class. Yeah. Alrighty. I need you to start today. Yes, today. Every day. Every day you do a coding challenge. Saturdays, coding challenge. Sunday, coding challenge. Monday, coding challenge. Tuesday, coding challenge. Wednesday, coding challenge. Thursday, coding challenge. Friday, just coding challenge, right? It's a daily coding challenge. You need this practice. right? For right now, you're just gonna be doing them on Code Wars and just submitting them there and taking your time with it. The fundamental rule with any coding challenge, I don't know why people don't always say this from the very beginning. If you look at a coding challenge and you have no idea how to solve that coding challenge, like if you don't even understand the words that are being said, just look at the solution. Just look at the solution. That's it. Look at the solution, understand the solution, type it all out, add it to your Anki, make sure you never forget that solution again, and move on to the next day. It's not cheating. It's learning. When you are first starting out with coding challenges, there's nothing to be gained by stressing out and then going and crying in the bathroom. Coding challenges for a lot of folks invoke some really strong emotions. Who gives a fuck if for the first 2 weeks you look at every single solution? It just doesn't matter. If you look at a challenge and you're like, there's no way I'm doing this bad boy, just look at the solution and move on. Like, make sure you understand it, you retype it out a few times, you add it to your Anki. You will gain more, right? You will gain more from looking at the solution, typing it out a couple of times, adding it to your Anki, than you will from sitting there and freaking out for 10 minutes. It just doesn't make any sense, right? So I hate when people first start doing coding challenges and they sit there and just freak out for an hour and then they don't learn anything. Use your time effectively. Now, once you got a couple of them underneath your belt and you're starting to feel good, there's a difference between like having no idea and maybe I need to spend 20 minutes on this, right? There is that difference, and you got to find it. Sometimes you're gonna look at it like, I might have an idea. Let me try a few things. Like, let me play with it a little bit. And then if you spend 20 minutes, you stop. 20 minutes is all you ever spend on a coding challenge in the beginning. All you ever spend on a coding challenge in the beginning is 20 minutes. 20 minutes. If you have given it a solid 20 minutes and you don't have a solution, you stop, you look at the solution, you type it out a few times, and you add it to your Anki. Make sure you understand it before you move on. You will get so much more out of looking at a solution, internalizing it, understanding it, adding it to your Anki, than you will for struggling for another half an hour on the problem. So in the beginning, you look at a problem and you're like, there's no way I'm getting even close to this, just look at the solution. Once you start feeling a little bit better and like you understand how the coding challenges work, give yourself the good old 100 devs try, spend 20 minutes on the problem. If after 20 minutes it's not making any sense, then you look at the solution, you internalize it, you figure out why it works, why it didn't work, you type it all out, you add it to your Anki. This is a way better way to get good at coding challenges than just banging your head against the keyboard for an hour. Cool? We all on the same page? All right. Now, every day, when I say every day, please, every day, you're gonna come towards the end of the program and you're like, Leon, can you be a reference? I'm gonna look and say, all right, show me your code wars. Show me your coding challenges. Show me your Anki. Right? All these things. When you want my help as we get further on, I'm gonna want to see that you've been doing it daily. Eventually, the other reason why we do coding challenges is because once we get to Git and GitHub, which is a place that we're gonna store all of our code, we push daily. We push our coding challenge every day. So to a recruiter or a hiring partner, what they see is that you are writing code every single day, which helps you stand out against other candidates that are not. So the coding challenges are two purposes. One, they make you a lean, mean interviewing machine, but they also help you pass that sniff test of, are you actually a software engineer? Because the recruiter's gonna look at your profile on GitHub and see that you push code every single day. Which brings us up to an amazing announcement. An amazing announcement. An amazing announcement. But it's not the best announcement of the week, folks. I got an announcement for you. I didn't put it in the slides, I want folks to ruin it. It's a great announcement. It's an amazing announcement. It's a wonderful announcement. But the best thing I've ever announced since I started happens on Thursday. So I don't want to downplay this announcement because it's a beautiful announcement. It's an amazing announcement. The hype should be real. But Thursday, folks, Thursday, I got something bigger. Anyway, the big announcement is the reason that we do our coding challenges is so that we become lean interviewing machines. It's so that we push our code every day to GitHub so that when recruiters are looking at our profiles, they see that we write code every day. We push every day to help you stand out against other candidates. Now, we push our code to GitHub. So an amazing sponsor for our upcoming class on GitHub would be GitHub. And boy, we got it, folks. Microsoft is coming back. They are sponsoring our class on Git and GitHub. Woo, thank you, All right. So Microsoft will be sponsoring our Git and GitHub class. They're giving away swag, wonderful Microsoft swag. For those that don't know, Microsoft now owns GitHub. So they're coming. They're sponsoring our Git and GitHub class. There's gonna be lots of swag. We're giving away laptops. We're doing it big, folks. So when we learn Git and GitHub, we're doing it with style. So huge shout out to Microsoft for sponsoring. We're coming back to support our community. I can't wait. It's coming up in a few weeks. But yeah, lots of fun. People got excited. Wavy13, thank you for the gifted subs. Layered Cake, hey, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. And Spider Lady, hey, thank you for 1,000 bits. Spider Lady, thank you for being here. Wavy13, thank you, I appreciate that. Layered Cake, hey, thank you. Turn up. Cool. So that's an amazing announcement. We're gonna do Git and GitHub in style. We're gonna have swag to give away, tons of raffles. We're gonna have laptops to give away. We're gonna do it big. So that's coming up. But like I said, folks, that's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. This is shaping up to be a really good week, folks. We had the super review on Sunday. I feel pumped. I'm ready. We got a brand spanking sponsor coming through for the Git and GitHub class. We're just getting started, though. We're just getting started. Mara, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you.
I don't know how I felt.
Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you for being here. All right, let's keep it pushing, folks. So I got you going, but remember, Client. You got to get that client on the line. Contract due date, March 31st.
Oh.
You don't kick out, we go get. You did it. Hey, it's been amazing. Folks been posting in that celebrations channel. Folks been posting on Twitter, getting clients left and right. You got time, folks. You got time. Go back, watch our class, move through it, make the motions. It'll happen already. Got 3 secured. Get out of here. If my client wants an NDA, how do I share a contract? Send. It's a good question. Does the contract fall underneath your NDA? I would not have it fall underneath the NDA. Get SpaceX next. Already. Remember, pay client 31st. You got this. Dig deep. Just the contract. Don't need nothing more. Just the contract. You don't have the work finished. Just the contract. Already. We had our super review. We got sponsors on deck. We got another amazing announcement on Thursday. And now we're going to start to turn things up just a little bit. Things are going to start a little bit faster. You got a lot of stuff that you're kind of juggling now, right? You're going to juggle a lot more now. You got class. You got reading. You got daily code challenges. You got networking. You got paid clients. You're building up, folks. I need you to take a second and think about all the amazing stuff that you're doing. Like 2 months ago versus now is wild. It's wild to see all of y'all progress through this. To go from just wanting to learn how to code to knowing what the heck HTML is, knowing a little bit of CSS, maybe got a little JavaScript in your back pocket, out there networking, trying to get paid clients, trying to do coding challenges. Like what? Come on now. You gotta be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. You gotta be proud of yourself. I don't care if you're super behind, super ahead, it doesn't matter. Think about where you were a month or 2 ago versus where you're going now. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep moving. Keep the flow going. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Whether you're doing it 200 days, 300 days, it doesn't matter. It's, are you moving forward? Are you moving forward? That's it. Are you different today than you were yesterday? Are you different today than you were a month ago? Are you different today than you were 2 months ago? Because if you are, you're doing it right. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're gonna keep turning it up. We're gonna keep juggling a little bit more, but we're moving forward, folks. I don't care if you think you're a little behind, a lot behind, if you're a little ahead, a little far ahead, it doesn't matter. We're moving forward. That's all that matters. Alrighty. Let's get a little review in here, folks. A little review, and then we're jumping into arrays. It's a big, meaty topic. We need a lot of time to go through it. So let's jump into this. Programming. A computer will do what you tell it to do. That's it. A computer will do what you tell it to do. So a program is a set of instructions that you write to tell a computer what to do. And a program or programming is simply the task of writing those instructions in a language that the computer will understand. During the super review, we talked a lot about kind of building up from that base binary to some simple logic, from that simple logic to a language the computer can somewhat understand, building up even further to a language that we can understand, and that language being JavaScript. Right? So we write JavaScript that ourselves and other engineers can understand what the heck we mean. We can translate the things that we need to have happen into a language that makes a little bit of sense to you and I, right? And we're going to keep adding a little bit more and more to JavaScript as we go along. We learned about the big 4, the variables, the functions, the conditionals, the loops. You can do pretty much whatever you want with those 4, but we're going to add a little bit more on today. We're going to add a new data structure called an array. Next, we're going to add a new data structure called objects. We're going to keep tacking on more and more to our JavaScript goodness. Alrighty. JavaScript has a specific syntax, that spelling and grammar rules that we've seen. We've seen a lot of weird keys when it comes to JavaScript. And tonight, we're adding 2 more, square brackets, so we can create arrays literally. We'll get to what that means in a second. But we're going to keep adding a little bit to the syntax, a little bit more. We have to remember good stuff to put into your Anki. Syntax deserves a spot in your Anki deck. Alrighty. Variables, chat. When we're creating variables, there are buckets where we put data. We have 2 steps. The declaration step where we create the bucket, and we have the assignment where we put a value into that bucket, and we can do that declaration and assignment at the same time. Here we declare a variable called age, and we assign it the value of 25. We've been there, we've done that. We also learned about conditionals and conditional syntax. When we look at a conditional, we can have if, else if, and else. How many elses can we have? And one conditional block, how many elses can we have?
As many as you want.
Ooh, people are sharp today. Yeah, we can have 1 else. We can have as many else ifs as we want, but only 1 else. Else is the default, right? It runs if everything else above it was false. So we can have our if. We can have as many else ifs as we want, but then 1 else. Beautiful. When I say danger of assignment versus comparison, what the heck do I mean? Assignment versus comparison. What's the danger there? Yeah.
Reassigning.
Can we just take a moment to pause? That the number of folks that now know that this versus this is dangerous. If you know why this versus this is dangerous, that's some wild stuff. That's some wild shit. Could you imagine? Can you imagine just 2 months ago living life not knowing this was alarm bells and this was okay? We outside, folks. We inside. We online. That's wild. Remember, assignment is where you're adding a value to a data bucket. You're giving a variable its value. Comparison is when you're trying to compare 2 things to each other. Does 3 equal 4? Nah, that's not true. Beautiful. We can compare multiple things inside of our conditionals at the same time. So in this case, if your name is Leon and your status is Ballin, you don't wink at the camera. We can also go ahead and do or. So where both of these must have been true. We can also do or, where only one has to be true. So if day is Saturday or day equals Sunday, then we know it is the weekend. Beautiful. Functions. Chat. What are functions? What are functions? I got the big bottle today, folks. I'm hydrating. They're just instructions. Yes. Functions are sets of instructions. They're simple sets of instructions. They're reusable. The beauty of using functions is that you can declare your function once and call it as many times as you want. So you do one little bit of work, and then you can reuse that work as many times as you want. People often call these the building blocks of our programs. Is it whiskey? No. It's I wish I had a big jug of whiskey this size. Get out of here. This is iced tea. It's a 0 sugar sweet tea. It's pretty dang tasty. I like this. I like this 0 sugar sweet tea. My great grandmother always made iced tea. And I know it's weird, but this tastes like her iced tea. I don't know why, but it does. I drink it all damn time. Alrighty. Our functions have a very specific kind of syntax, right? Granny using stevia. I don't think she used stevia, but I don't know why it does. That's what it reminds me of. Our functions have a very specific syntax. Chat, what is this? What is that? What did I just circle? There's a very specific name I'm looking for. Ah, there we go. The function declaration. Beautiful. And then, hold on. All right, what's this? What did I just circle? No peeking. Yeah, that's our function call. And we call mom to argue. So whenever we are passing, so whenever we're calling our functions, we are passing our arguments. And whenever we are setting our function declarations, we're setting up our parameters. Beautiful. Now, when I make a function declaration, where does it go? When I type out a function declaration, I save, I run my file, where does it go? Like a browser executes the JavaScript file, where does it go? Oh, Bob, 134, got it. First, into memory. Yeah, our function declarations go into memory. We can think about our memory being a physical place, and right now there is a space in memory called name that has all the instructions that would be inside of this function. Beautiful. Here is an actual function with actual parameters, a function declaration with actual parameters. Word is our actual parameter here. Down here we have our function call. We're passing in our argument of hello. The argument of hello goes into word. Wherever I see word, it's actually hello, and we alert hello. Beautiful. Loops. Chat, what are loops? We're getting our spaced repetition here tonight, folks. What are loops? Fruity. I didn't get the job at Fruit Loops. My body is now your communion. Eat from me. Eat from me. Some people don't know where that comes from, but if you do, we can be friends. Bird up, exactly. Alrighty. Loops enable us to do some action a certain number of times, right? Enables us to do something a certain number of times. There are three main kinds of loops you're going to run into. Legalize ranch, yeah. There are three main types of loops we're going to run into: for, while, and do while loops. But tonight we're actually going to see another kind of loop, a for each loop that comes specifically with arrays. So there are more than just those three in JavaScript. The different kind of loops really just offer a different way to determine a start and endpoint to your loop. Alrighty. The first kind of loop that we've talked about was a for loop. Let's quickly run through the syntax again. Let's quickly run through the syntax again for a for loop. Then we'll look at a while loop, and then we're going to do some practice before we take our break. So here's a for loop. We have it set up so that we have our increment that we're starting here at 1. Today we're going to start seeing increments maybe starting at 0 for a very specific reason in a few minutes. So here our increment starts at 1, or our counter starts at 1. Our counter is called I in this situation. So our counter starts at 1. We're going to check to see if our count is less than 5. If our count is less than 5, we do what is inside the curly braces. And then when we are done, that count is going to go up by 1. So the very first time this runs, our count starts off at 1. So we say, hey, is 1 less than 5? It is. So printed to the console is what the count currently is at 1. Then it goes up by 1. And now our count, or I, is at 2. Is 2 less than 5? Well, indeed it is. So then we print 2 to the console, and we go up by 1. Now we're at 3. Is 3 less than 5? It is. It is indeed. So we do what's inside the curly braces, and we print 3 to the console. Then we go up by 1. Is 4 less than 5? It is indeed. So 4 gets printed to the console, and then we go up by 1. Now we're at 5. Is 5 less than 5? Is 5 less than 5? No, 5 is not less than 5. So we stop. We're done. We're finished. You're cut. It's over. All right? We stop. Beautiful. So this loop, we print 1 through 4, and then be done. If we want it to include 5, what change could we make, chat? If we want it to include 5, what change could we add?
Less than or equal.
Yeah, we can change this to a less than or equal. And now we get 1 through 5 with 5, because 5 would be less than or equal to 5. Beautiful. Another kind of loop that we just saw, but we actually haven't worked through yet, is a while loop. A while loop is very similar. You have your condition, and then this loop will run as long as that condition is true. So you can see up here we start count at 0. So in this case, 0 is less than 5. So we would print to the console 0, and then we would add 1 to 0. Sorry, add 1 to our count. Now we're at 1. Then we do it all over again. Is 1 less than 5? It is. We print 1. We go up to 2, 2, 3, 4, and then we print 4. We go up to 5. Is 5 less than 5? No. So we stop. So very similar, except that we're seeing the increment happen inside of the loop. So the reason why I don't often start my students off with while loops, why do you think? Why do you think I start them off with for loops and not while loops?
Give it parameters. It's
a lot easier, I think, to get into an infinite loop. If you forget your increment, right, or you do your increment wrong, you're going to be looping for a while, folks, until kingdom come or your computer crashes. And so I always like to start with for loops because you're kind of forced to think about your counter, your end condition, and your increment a little bit more than you might in a while loop. But you'll see both. And as you start doing your coding challenges, there might be some scenarios where a while loop makes a little bit more sense than a for loop. Right now, you're like, why would I use one over the other? It's just about when you start and stop. And so as you start getting into code challenges, pay attention to when you might use a while or a for, because it'll come up. We'll get some practice with that in the future, but for now, just keep an eye out for it when you're doing your coding challenges. Alrighty, let's get some practice in, and then we're going to take our break. Actually, you know what? Let's take our break and then come back and do the practice. Let's do that. Let's take our break, and then we'll do the practice. So I'm going to put 5 minutes on the timer. We'll come back from the break, and we'll do our practice. So let me bring up the timer here.